Being a part of this family and the platform that comes with that is an incredible responsibility that I take really seriously.
It was Meghan Markle's first major TV gig.
Meghan, open the case.
As a briefcase model on the game show, Deal or No Deal.
Before Meghan Markle was living in a $14 million mansion in Montecito, California, her life looked completely different. She wasn't surrounded by luxury or massive contracts yet. She was earning about $800 an episode, standing in 5-inch heels, holding a briefcase on a game show, long before a $100 million Netflix deal ever came into the picture. Before that, she was sitting at a small table with a white sock pulled over her hand, carefully writing wedding invitations in calligraphy just to pay the rent. Before fame, before headlines, before the world knew her name, she was even writing personal thoughts on an anonymous blog. I've spent many days curled up in bed with a loaf of bread and some wine, a one-woman pity party.
Yeah, he's great. He's an interesting guy. He's a prince, but my daughter's been a princess since the day she was born.
Thanks to another amazing friend who we've never met, but who believes in us and wants to help.
That wasn't drama for attention. That was her real life at the time. This is the real money story of Meghan Markle, and it's way more shocking than most people expect. We're breaking down how she went from a $5 million net worth to $60 million and how one Instagram photo quietly changed everything. We're talking about a deal that paid her more per hour than most people make in an entire year. The Spotify fallout, where an executive openly called her a grifter, and the lifestyle brand move she made after stepping away from royal life that sold out in under 60 minutes. But to understand how she built this fortune, you have to go back to when she truly had nothing.
My first job was when I was 13 at a frozen yogurt shop called Humphrey Yogurt.
Humphrey Yogurt still exists and is seeing a spike in business after Meghan's brief mention.
It's actually really good. One day, Meghan Markle had a memorable encounter while she worked at the yogurt shop.
Meghan Markle was born in 1981 in Canoga Park, Los Angeles. Her parents divorced when she was 6 years old. Her father, Thomas Markle, worked as a lighting director on the set of General Hospital, while her mother, Doria Ragland, was a makeup artist who later became a yoga instructor. They weren't wealthy, and they weren't struggling either. But Meghan learned early that if she wanted something, she had to earn it herself. Nobody was lining up to hand her opportunities. At just 13 years old, she got her first job scooping frozen yogurt at Humphrey Yogurt for minimum wage. The shop owner later said it took a certain personality to handle the pressure there, and Meghan had it even at that age. That job became her first real lesson in earning her own money.
You are a calligrapher?
I used to be, yes. That was, I went to all-girls Catholic school. Handwriting class was one of those
And
lost
how do
arts.
calligraphers get paid? I mean, who employs calligraphers?
You know, it's
Wedding
funny.
reception people?
Absolutely. Wedding reception people
Yes,
also.
please, let her do it.
Oh, no.
Check this out.
She later attended Northwestern University, where she double majored in theater and international studies. She studied abroad in Madrid and then interned at the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires. She wasn't just chasing fame, she was building skills and experience. But once she returned to Los Angeles to start her acting career, she ran straight into a wall. Roles weren't coming in. In her own words, I wasn't black enough for the black roles, and I wasn't white enough for the white ones. While others were getting callbacks, Meghan was hustling just to stay afloat. She worked as a hostess at a Beverly Hills restaurant. She taught gift wrapping classes. And then there's the job that always surprises people. She became a freelance calligrapher.
Sat next to each other. She was number 24. Meghan is beautiful, smart, talented. I feel she absolutely deserves to be a princess.
Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy.
Her handwriting was so good that she'd sit for hours with a white sock on her hand to stop oils from smudging the paper. She wrote wedding invitations one by one, carefully and patiently. She handled the invitations for Robin Thicke and Paula Patton's wedding. She worked on Dolce & Gabbana's holiday correspondence. She even taught calligraphy classes at Paper Source in Beverly Hills. Later, she summed it up perfectly, calling it my version of being a waitress while trying to get on Broadway. And during this stretch, she was doing something almost nobody knew about. Between 2010 and 2012, Meghan quietly ran an anonymous blog called The Working Actress. No name attached, no photos, no branding,
Before Meghan Markle was a blushing bride-to-be, she was a star on Suits, a popular show on our sister network, USA.
She was indeed. Markle played Rachel Zane, a paralegal at a major Manhattan law firm who had big dreams of becoming an attorney.
The TIG is a lifestyle site that I launched last year, and it's really just about an inspired lifestyle.
Just raw and honest writing about what it really felt like trying to survive in Hollywood. She talked openly about sexism from casting agents, money stress, and the kind of loneliness nobody admits out loud. No filters, no sugarcoating, just real life from someone trying to make it. One entry read, "I've spent many days curled up in bed with a loaf of bread and some wine, a one-woman pity party." She even added that it was awful and ridiculous. That version of Meghan isn't what people pictured today, but at the time, that was her everyday reality. Then in 2006, she landed what she believed was her big break, a spot as a briefcase model on Deal or No Deal. She was briefcase number 24.
The name the TIG comes from a wine called Tignanello, but oftentimes it's mispronounced Tignanello. And I had a sip of this wine about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was the first time that I understood what people meant when they said the body or legs or structure of wine. It was such an, oh, I get it kind of moment that for me it became a TIG moment.
The pay was $800 per episode, and believe it or not, that was the best money she had ever made up to that point. But here's the twist, she hated it. She later explained that she felt reduced to looks instead of talent. She was lined up, handed fake eyelashes, spray tan vouchers, and told to suck it in. Every taping left her with a heavy feeling in her stomach because she knew she was capable of way more than what was being shown on that stage. One detail most people forget, Chrissy Teigen was there too. She was on the backup squad at the same time. Both of them were unknown, holding briefcases for $800, just trying to get by. Keep that name in mind because Chrissy pops back up later in this story in a way nobody sees coming. Everything shifted because of one simple decision and a $35 dress.
I was scrolling through my feed and someone who was a friend had this video of the two of them. It was like a Snapchat.
Oh gosh, just that whole thing. It started like dog ears.
Dog ears. And
That's what he saw of me. And then she sent me an email saying, I know you said you're single, and a friend of mine asked about you, and maybe you'd like to meet him. And I said, who is it? And she said, it's Prince Has. And I said, who's that? But that's your homework. You're like, look, let me see what they're about in their feed, not what someone else says about them, but what they are putting out about themselves.
we had a great chat for about an hour.
In 2011, Meghan walked into an audition for a brand new legal drama called Suits. She showed up wearing a plum tank top and black jeans, but right before she went in, she stopped and thought, this doesn't look like a lawyer, so she ran across the street into an H&M, grabbed a black dress for $35, didn't even try it on, and walked straight into the audition. She crushed it. The role of Rachel Zane was hers almost immediately. That $35 dress didn't just help her land a role, it flipped the direction of her entire life. Suits wasn't just acting work, it was a serious money move. At her peak, she was earning $50,000 per episode, which came out to about $450,000 per year. Over 7 seasons, she pulled in roughly $4 million from the show alone. But Meghan never relied on just one income stream. While filming Suits in Toronto 9 months out of the year, she launched her lifestyle blog, The TIG, in 2014. Named after her favorite wine, The TIG was pulling in around $80,000 a year through sponsorships and endorsements.
I left after an hour, and I told him that I had other plans. And then I called him that evening, and I was like, look, I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Do you want to grab dinner tomorrow night? I what? I what?
You were late.
I was late?
Yeah. Remember? You came rushing in from having a shower.
I don't know, like 5. I mean,
Mere few minutes.
Yeah.
But you were quite flustered.
I hate being
late. You could be as late as you want. I ain't moving. I want to see you again. That was when it just hit me. I was like, okay, this girl, this woman is amazing. Is everything that I've been looking for.
On top of that, she was booking paid speaking engagements. She spoke at events like the United Nations Women Conference and the One Young World Summit in 2015, earning up to $20,000 per speech. She also released 2 capsule fashion collections with Canadian retailer Reitmans, and both collections sold out. Multiple streams, smart timing, and no wasted momentum. That strategy becomes important later. By 2016, Meghan Markle's personal net worth was estimated at around $5 million. She had a steady career, a growing brand, and financial freedom. But she was about to meet someone who would multiply that number by 12, and it all started with one Instagram photo. In July 2016, Prince Harry was casually scrolling through Instagram when one photo stopped him cold. It was a selfie posted by his friend Violet von Westenholz, showing her and Meghan together with playful cartoon filters on their faces. Harry couldn't look away. He immediately messaged Violet and asked, "Who is that girl? I need her number."
An engagement that's being announced by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Let's watch this. This has been something that fashion designers and people all over the world have been watching for and just love aficionados and fans of the royal family.
Just days later, Harry and Meghan met up for drinks at Soho House. He ordered a beer, she ordered a martini, and sparks flew fast. Meghan later said he was just so fun and that they were childlike together. No royal stiffness, no pressure, just real chemistry right from the start. Now, this is where the money side gets serious. At the time, Harry was worth around $20 million, mostly from a trust set up by his late mother, Princess Diana, along with inheritance from the Queen Mother. Meghan, on the other hand, was sitting at about $5 million. Together, they had a combined net worth of $25 million. They got engaged in November 2017, and that's when everything shifted fast. Meghan gave up Suits, walked away from roughly $450,000 a year, shut down the TIG, and stepped into life as a working royal. The wedding in May 2018 was massive, costing around $43 million. The dress alone was worth hundreds of thousands. But here's the part people rarely talk about. As a senior working royal, Meghan was no longer allowed to earn her own money.
In search of much-needed good news, many were up before sunrise to watch the royal wedding, and it delivered in fairy tale fashion. An American actress became a real-life princess bride, and Roxana Saberi is there.
Wearing a white silk dress she helped create with British designer Claire Waite Keller, the first American bride to walk down this aisle set out on her own, then took the hand of Britain's next king. As Prince Harry waited, he looked a little anxious, but the sight of her appeared to put him at ease.
No brand deals, no acting, no blog, no business ventures at all. The rules were strict and non-negotiable. The palace even required access to Suits scripts and reportedly had final say over her character's dialogue before she officially left the show. Overnight, she went from building her own income streams to being financially dependent on the crown. That tension is a key piece of what came next. In January 2020, Harry and Meghan made the announcement that rocked the entire world. They were stepping back as senior royals. The media exploded. The palace was furious, and almost instantly, the safety net disappeared. No more taxpayer-funded security, no royal residences, no sovereign grant. They were also required to repay nearly $3 million in public funds used to renovate Frogmore Cottage. Here's the real shock. They didn't have much liquid cash at that moment. They moved first to Canada, then to Los Angeles. At one point, they were staying at Tyler Perry's home because they didn't even have a permanent place yet. According to Forbes Africa, their combined net worth had dropped to around $10 million. Money was going out fast.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle resigning from the royal family. They released a statement about an hour ago. This is what it says. It says, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we've chosen to make a transition this year in starting to carve out a progressive new role within this institution. This is the key bit. They go on to say, we intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and work to become financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. Now, clearly this is shocking, but perhaps not that surprising for royal watchers. You know, just yesterday, they were at Canada House thanking officials for the hospitality they were shown during a 6-week trip to Canada, choosing to spend their Christmas in Canada, not at Sandringham House, well, not at Sandringham, sorry, with the rest of the royal family.
There was no steady income, no infrastructure, and non-stop media attacks. The British press labeled them traitors, and they were doing all of this while caring for a newborn baby. Think about that for a second. They went from Buckingham Palace to staying at a friend's house, from $25 million combined down to $10 million. From royalty to unemployment almost overnight. Most people assumed this was the end of Meghan Markle's story. A fall from grace with no comeback in sight. But what almost everyone missed is that this moment was actually the start of one of the biggest financial rebounds modern celebrity culture has ever seen. Just months after leaving royal life, Harry and Meghan signed with the Harry Walker Agency. This is the same powerhouse agency that represents Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, and Oprah Winfrey. Their speaking fee jumped to as much as $1 million per appearance. One speech, 1 hour, up to $1 million. The same woman who once earned about $20,000 per talk during her Suits days was now commanding 50 times that amount.
Today in London, well, as you can imagine, the story is plastered all over the newspapers, and it is the topic of conversation around water coolers all over the UK. Some of the tabloids are calling the two the Rogue Royals and describing the move as Megxit. Others say they're turning their backs on the royal family.
And that was only the warm-up move. In September 2020, they locked in the deal that changed everything. A multi-year production agreement with Netflix worth over $100 million. From financial freefall to a 9-figure deal in under a year, the comeback was officially in motion. Some reports say that once bonuses and performance incentives are factored in, that Netflix deal could climb as high as $150 million. Their first major release, the Harry and Meghan docuseries, dropped in late 2022 and instantly became one of Netflix's biggest launches ever. Meghan didn't stop there. In 2025, she executive produced a lifestyle series called With Love, Meghan. That Netflix money alone was enough to cover the Frogmore Cottage renovation many times over and bankroll their entire lifestyle for years. But they were just getting started. Deal number 2 was Spotify, reportedly worth $18 million. Just 3 months after signing with Netflix, they locked in a 3-year podcast deal. Meghan launched Archetypes, and when it premiered, it did something nobody expected. It knocked Joe Rogan off the #1 spot on Spotify. Read that again, she dethroned Joe Rogan. That moment made headlines everywhere. But here's where things got messy. In 2023, the Spotify deal fell apart before the contract ended. It's still unclear how much of that $18 million was actually paid out. One Spotify executive even reportedly called them grifters, and that single word went viral. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. The headlines turned harsh. Rolling Stone openly described the couple as being in a flop era. For a moment, it looked like the momentum had completely stalled. But here's what most people missed. Meghan didn't vanish, she adjusted. In 2025, she pivoted and launched a new podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder with Lemonada Media. It was quieter, more focused, and way more intentional. Less hype, more control, and smarter positioning. Deal number 3 was publishing. In 2021, Meghan released a children's book titled The Bench. It went straight to the New York Times bestseller list. Simple, clean, and profitable. Deal number 4 was real estate. In August 2020, they bought a $14.7 million estate in Montecito, California. They put down about $5 million in cash and took out a $10 million mortgage. That property alone has likely increased in value since then. Then came the move almost nobody saw coming.
All right, big news in the world of entertainment. Netflix has decided it will not renew its deal with Prince Harry and Meghan. It looks like the $100 million multi-year contract with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is set to expire in September, and that's where Netflix will leave it. With more on that.
So this was a big hit for Netflix. They got a lot of publicity out of this deal. The ratings were so-so, but look, you cannot buy that publicity. But 5 years ago, they were throwing huge amounts of money for exclusive deals. And now they're realizing not always a good return on investment. So now what they're offering much smaller first peak.
In 2024, Meghan quietly filed a trademark under the name American Riviera Orchard, a nod to Santa Barbara's nickname. Later, she rebranded it as Ever. In March 2025, she soft-launched the brand alongside her Netflix show. And this is where the strategy gets sharp. Netflix wasn't just her production partner anymore. They became her business partner. Meghan said it herself. Netflix came on, not just as my partner in the show, but as my partner in my business, which was huge. As Ever launched with artisanal food products like raspberry jam, strawberry spread, herbal teas, shortbread, cookie mix, crepe mix, honey, and something called flour sprinkles. At first glance, it sounded small and almost cute. But then it happened. The entire launch sold out in under 1 hour. Every single product was gone. And it wasn't a one-time thing. Every restock since then has sold out just as fast. The summer 2025 rosé wine disappeared in under an hour. The holiday collection with candles and sparkling wine followed the same pattern. Every drop turns into a digital stampede. People are lining up online every time she releases anything. And here's the detail that ties everything together perfectly. Before the brand officially launched, Meghan sent out 50 jars of strawberry jam to friends and influencers, not random people. She sent them to Kris Jenner, to Tracee Ellis Ross, to Mindy Kaling, and to Chrissy Teigen, the same Chrissy who once stood next to her holding a briefcase for $800 on Deal or No Deal. Chrissy Teigen was standing right next to her on the backup squad of Deal or No Deal, 20 years earlier, both of them holding briefcases for $800 an episode. Fast forward to now, and one of them is sending the other a jar of jam from her own lifestyle empire. That's not just a full circle moment, that's a power move. But here's where it gets really strategic. The candles she sells aren't random at all. Candle number 519 represents May 19th, her wedding anniversary with Harry. Candle number 084 stands for August 4th, her birthday, and also the year Harry was born, 1984. She's not just selling products, she's selling her story. Every item ties back to her personal timeline, and that's branding at a level most companies can't even touch. This isn't accidental, it's calculated and it's smart.
Harry and Meghan Markle's media empire is expanding into podcasting. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have joined forces with Spotify to produce and host podcasts, their first series coming next year. The couple have already signed a deal to produce films and TV shows for Netflix after stepping down from royal duties. In a joint statement, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex said, "What we love about podcasting is that it reminds all of us to take a moment and to really listen, to connect to one another without distraction."
And she's nowhere near finished. Trademark filings show that As Ever is expanding fast. We're talking tableware, cookbooks, gardening tools, linens, stationery, and even pet products. There are also reports that she's planning to move into hospitality, including hotels and restaurants under the As Ever name. On top of that, Netflix is opening physical retail locations called Netflix House in Philadelphia and Dallas, where As Ever products will make their first in-person appearance. This isn't a celebrity hobby or a quick cash grab. This is a Goop-level play, but with a twist. Meghan has said herself that she wants As Ever to be more accessible and less exclusive. Gwyneth Paltrow built a $700 million brand. Meghan is clearly aiming for something long-term, and she's still in the early stages. So let's break down the numbers. Before marrying Harry, Meghan was worth about $5 million. Harry brought roughly $20 million into the marriage, putting them at $25 million combined. After leaving royal life, that number dropped hard to around $10 million. Then came the comeback, a Netflix deal worth over $100 million, a Spotify deal reported at $18 million, speaking engagements paying up to $1 million per appearance, a best-selling children's book, a new lifestyle brand that sells out in under an hour every time, a $14 million real estate investment, a podcast, a wine release, and an expanding product lineup that keeps growing. As of 2025, Meghan and Harry's combined net worth is estimated at around $60 million. Now you might be thinking, if the Netflix deal alone was over $100 million, shouldn't that number be higher? That's a fair question. Here's the reality. Production deals aren't pure profit. A huge chunk of that money goes into actually making the content, paying staff, covering crews, logistics, taxes, mortgages, security, and reinvesting back into the business. The $60 million figure reflects what's left after all of that. And here's the part that really hits. They went from a low point of $10 million to $60 million in less than 5 years. That's a 6 times increase without acting roles, without royal funding, and without a traditional career structure. With As Ever still in its first year and already selling out every single drop, that $60 million number is almost guaranteed to keep climbing. That's why this story keeps people locked in. No matter how you feel about Meghan Markle personally, love her or dislike her, the financial playbook she followed is the same one behind almost every modern celebrity wealth story. Step 1, build an audience. Step 2, leave the system that limits your earning power. Step 3, monetize your name across multiple platforms. Step 4, build something you actually own. She went from writing calligraphy with a sock on her hand for other people's weddings to signing a 9-figure deal with the biggest streaming platform on the planet. From earning $800 an episode holding a briefcase to making $1 million for a single speech. From writing anonymously about being broke and lonely in Hollywood to running a lifestyle brand that sells out faster than most hype-driven streetwear drops, and maybe the wildest detail of all, as Evernow sells a leather bookmark stamped with the words, "Fell asleep here," written in her own handwriting. The same calligraphy skill she once used just to pay rent is now part of a premium product line. She didn't erase her struggle, she turned it into a system. You don't have to like her, but you do have to respect the math. Huh? If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.